Welcome to episode 363 of the Game Deflators podcast. My name's John. I am joined by Ryan.
Hey, everybody here at the Game Deflators podcast. We like to talk about games. We've recently picked up games we're currently playing, and we have an eye for this sort of thing in this week's Inflation Deflation Challenge.
So this week we played some Siren on the PlayStation 2. And Ryan, what else are we talking about?
So this week, can we see beyond the current state of Magic the Gathering? Then we might be in for a behind-the-scenes view of Nintendo, and we close it all out with a blink and you'll miss it review of Siren.
All right. Always with the meshing in exactly what we're going to talk about the game.
I'm trying here.
Yeah. So you can, of course, find us on thegame-deflators.com. We're also on social media at Game Deflators on X, at The Game Deflators on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and Blue Sky. We're also on YouTube, so go ahead and hit whatever the little bell or notification so you know when we're on and we're streaming or we got new content coming up. And, of course, subscribe. Definitely appreciate it. And all the comments. Had a lot of comments recently, which is nice. So
like our shorts.
Yeah. So pickups. First one is one I'm actively using. I got a new gaming mouse. So I got a Razer gaming mouse, and then I got a clickety-clackety mechanical keyboard. So I think this is Aula, I think is the name of the brand. So pretty cool looking keyboard. Yeah.
Oh, you got like a little dial on there.
Oh yeah, the dial actually here. Let me turn it on. Let me see if it'll do it right now. No, it doesn't want to do it right now. I think I have to hold it down for 5 seconds. That might be what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So the dial activates. I can lower this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's got different RGB settings and such. But in terms of battery health, it's of course much better to not do that. And it says something like 42 days worth of battery if I don't use RGB. If I use RGB, then it's a lot more than that. So yeah, it's ultimately what it comes down to. I cannot turn it off right now, so I'll just do that later. And let's see, pickups. I also got Among the Sleep on the Switch. It was like $10, I want to say, on there. I wish I would have got it for PS4 a long time ago because now it's like 40 or 50. But it is what it is. Then I also got I Am Setsuna on the Switch. And of course, that one came with the English cover as well. So it was pretty nice. I can't tell if it's like a printed out cover, like somebody printed it out, or if it's a legit one. The actual paper feels like it's a legit cover. Like it wasn't printed in somebody's house. So and it's got like perfect cuts and everything. So I think this just happened to be, like that, right? And so what's interesting is when I first saw this game a long time ago and I really wanted it, it was the PS4 version, which is like absolutely ridiculous. It's the Korean version is the only one that has English subtitles to the game, and that one is like $150. This one I got for $25, and it came with both cases. It was originally at some point going for like 65 or 70 in the last couple of years. So yeah, so it's kind of crazy it went down that much, but it does have English subtitles, so I'm down with that.
It comes with 2 boxes?
Yeah, I know, right?
It came with 2 covers, and you just had a spare box.
No, it came with 2 cases and, the actual art. Yeah, and then it's got the inserts and everything. And then it's interesting, the card itself is, well, not interesting. Card itself is in Japanese as well. But yeah, I'll play that at some point. And then I think is Lost Sphere, I think is the sequel. And that one is pretty widely accessible. It's got PAL versions that were released in the US. So that one, I won't have to worry about having to get a Japanese version on Switch because I can get on PS4. And it's very affordable, that one. As far as what I'm gaming with right now, so Witcher 4, I am now on chapter 4. Not Witcher 4, jeez. I wish I had Witcher 4. Yeah, whoa, yeah. I definitely got Witcher 4 now.
Nobody's got Witcher 4 yet.
Only here on the Game Deflators do we have Witcher 4. No, I'm confusing it because I'm on chapter 4 of the first Witcher game. So I'm enjoying it still. And despite, what I've talked about with all the collectathon type things that are occurring within the game itself, the story is still very good for Witcher. So I'm really enjoying myself with this game, and we'll see how it goes. Apparently, Chapter 4 is a much shorter chapter in comparison to Chapter 3. Chapter 3 was a pretty good bit of time that it took me to get through that, and chapter 2 I think was even longer than chapter 3. So chapter 4 is supposed to be pretty short. Chapter 5 is even shorter than chapter 4, and then the epilogue is shorter than all the others. So I'm pretty
So
close.
you're bulk of the way through.
Yeah, like estimates that I've seen online. I was just kind of curious, like how long chapter 4 is in comparison to chapter 5. Chapter 4 is supposed to be somewhere around 4 hours, 4 to 5, if you complete all the side quests. I'm not completing all the side quests. Although there are people that say, hey, if you complete the side quests, it gives you a full scope of everything. And it's really exciting and there's great stories. And while I appreciate that, I'm also not looking to pump 70 to 80 hours of gameplay in by going through every single side quest, plus having to restart things if I die and chase back and forth. No, I'm just not doing it right now, especially with the time frame to beat it. I
Yeah,
got plenty of time to do side quests, but I don't know, I'm just not interested in doing them. I'm
you're just
liking the
kind of
main
over
story.
it.
Yeah, well, no, not that I'm over it. I like the main story. In my opinion, there's no reason to dive into a bunch of side quests to get extra content when I'm enjoying the main story. So,
Usually
why?
for me, it comes down to like I'm probably never going to play this game again. So, like, do I want to finish the game or do I want to do some of the extra stuff? Because
And
usually
that's
that's where my choice lies.
Yeah, and the thing with me is I'll usually do extra content, but not a ton of it when I play a game. So I'm not looking to 100% complete a game. I'm looking to get as much exposure into the game as I can typically. And then I'll get my fill and be like, all right, I'm over it, right? I'm trying to do that a little differently of Witcher, where I'm enjoying the main story and I don't want to ruin a good thing that I have going by just doing a bunch of side missions and getting tired of the game and then trying to just like finish it and not enjoy it, right? So I'm enjoying the game. To me, there's no sense in doing a bunch of side quests to just kind of do them for the sake of doing them, right? And there might be some cool stories tied to them, and that's fine. I just don't have interest in diving in and doing a bunch of side quests right now. I'm kind of beyond that at this point. And it's one of the reasons why going into Silent Hill F, I don't intend on doing a bunch of New Game Plus versions of it, despite the fact that Silent Hill F New Game Plus is supposed to be pretty good. Like your weapons, you can expand, I think, to 4 slots. A lot of areas that were not accessible at first are now accessible through New Game Plus. There are different cutscenes, different ways that characters approach you. Um, it's all like multiple endings that are tied to it, which also has different boss battles. So there's a lot of cool pieces that go into that New Game Plus. But I'm just not really interested in spending another 30 hours trying to beat all of the endings for Silent Hill
I
and going
mean,
through it
I
again.
think it probably goes, well, I guess 30 hours if you were going to do all the extra endings. Because, like, for the most part, I mean, we both beat it this week, so we could just kind of talk about it. I didn't have any pickups or anything. So, like, at the end of every little alcove, side area, wherever you're going, like, you're just getting things that you don't really need that you're either going to like donate or toss or use. Like, basically, once you have a full inventory, there's no reason not to just run past everything that you can in the game, because like you don't get any reward for combat. All you do is expend resources and then pick up more resources. So like I feel like after the first, playthrough, once you go into New Game Plus, it's probably just a lot of running everywhere and, and getting through the cutscenes you've already seen. Like I
Yeah.
imagine it goes quite quick on the later playthroughs.
Maybe. I mean, and especially as you keep your sanity and you keep your health and all and your slots, like everything of that nature stays the same. There's certain items that you don't keep, obviously, don't transfer over. But I again just I don't have the time to do it, nor do I have a reason to do it. Like it's a great game and I definitely enjoyed it. It was a fantastic Silent Hill game, actually. The combat was a little weird, right? For what it was. It's all melee and there's no guns, but it makes sense. It's in the 60s. It's a girl in her 20s or woman in her 20s, I guess you would say.
No,
Yeah.
she's in middle school.
Technically, but if you look at the final piece or the final video, they mention that it's a woman in her 20s. Didn't you catch that? Let me look this up. How old is Hinako in Silent Hill F? It says between 13 and 16 years old. However, the game's first setting it's revealed that she's a 20-year-old woman who experienced psychotic breakdown related to her wedding. Yeah. So that's what I said. It's like it's revealed that she's that old, which was very interesting. So I don't know if it's like, and it's one of those like up to. So diving into the endings, right? So the first ending for me, I thought was great. I thought it should just been that. And you have this entire game where she's popping these red capsules the whole time, and you're thinking, okay, it's like for your sanity and health. And then as the game progresses, you learn like, okay, yeah, it's actually screwing with her head this whole time. And I kind of figured like once I saw, they cut off her arm and then put the fox arm and everything on there. And you started to see like the monster's arm reach out. I'm like, oh, okay, that's her in like an alternate state, right? Like she's kind of fighting her inner self. So I understood that very early on in the game. But throwing in like the pill piece, right? Those capsules driving her to this like absolute chaos. And the reason being is that she's being married off to Kotoyuki, which is Fox Mask in the game. And the entire thing is him trying to, like molding her to try and get her to fit in and everything for like what he has this vision for. And Shu is the other interest who's giving her these capsules, thinking that by giving her these capsules, she'll kind of like have this heightened awareness of what's happening and she'll run off of him. But all it does is puts her in a psychotic situation where she literally kills her entire wedding party. And including Shu, you would imagine, as well as Fox Mask, who is, the one that she's getting married to in that ending. I thought that was a great ending. When you get into the other endings, you have one where Shu comes in and basically tries to beat down Fox Mask. And then as he's leaving, you get into a fight with him, right? With Shu. He turns into this giant creature. You beat him. And then at some point, like after you beat him, Fox Mask and Shu like fist bump. And then you have Hinako in her like weird fungal wolf form bride's dress with her arms around them and are looking in the sunset. I was like, what the hell is this? So that was one weird ending. The other ending that I saw, you battle Fox Mask. He turns into like basically his demon version of himself, right? And you battle him. And in that one, you end up staying with him. And at the end of it, that was a pretty cool ending, actually. So Hinako like screams out that she doesn't want to be like her mom. And she goes with Fox Mask in like the Fox Mask that she has. But there's a scene where her face is cut off and stepped on as she's screaming. And so it's like a representation of, her basically falling into a loveless marriage and as she's turning into her mom. So she's lost face. And then the other ending, the true ending, is you battle Fox Mask and you go through the whole process and he just says, all right, go on, like you're okay, like you need to leave this place. And it's Hinako and her alternate self walk out and they kind of decide, hey, maybe at some point when I'm ready, I'll marry him. But for now I want to go out and explore and do my own thing. Like, so it's her kind of coming to that reality that it's okay and to just kind of do her own thing, right? So there, and that's supposed to be a true ending. I thought they were all decent, with the exception of Fist Bump one and the alien fake, fun ending, but they do a secret ending. I really do steer more towards the psychotic breakdown, though. That to me was a very, very good ending, and that's the one you obviously saw as well.
Everybody gets the same first ending.
Yeah.
Is what I read. So I guess it like, because we had heard, or my wife got a little bit of a spoiler and she was like, stop taking the red pills. But it doesn't matter because like for all of the other playthroughs, you can't take any red pills. So
yeah,
it's one of those things that like, I think they force you to get that ending, the first one, regardless of like, I don't know, maybe it's unavoidable. Like maybe at some point in the beginning of the game, you have to take a red pill. And
you do.
About it.
Yeah, I think you do take a red pill at the very beginning of the game, and that's
what I thought.
I don't think it's a forced function, but unless you had no, I think you do, because I think you lose quite a bit of health, and you have to take that red pill unless you want to die.
Yeah, and then probably they make it like optional somehow in the New Game Plus playthroughs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those games where, I mean, I've never played a Silent Hill other than I think I booted up Silent Hill 1 on the...
Well, we played it for the podcast and number 2.
Did we?
And we played number 2 for the podcast as well.
Oh, and number 2. Dang. Okay, so I forgot about that. Yeah. I've played some Silent Hill in my day, and this was the best one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really dug it. The setting
yeah,
was great. I've heard a lot of, people kind of on both sides of the combat. I actually didn't mind the combat. Like, once I kind of got the hang of it, like, I was never good at doing like the counters. Like, I'm sure if I had been able to nail the counters, it would have been even better just because like it does so much damage. But like, I found a pretty good balance between, cycling out the weapons and getting pretty effective at being able to get rid of certain enemies in certain areas. And then like once you're in the like spirit other realm and you get your wolf arm, or even like once you get like the pole arm,
yeah,
you're like doing pretty good. And then definitely in the real world, like the bat is MVP. Like the bat is by far the best weapon. Just swing away, and then the like axe is so powerful. Like between those
yeah.
two, like just give me axes and bats, and you can keep your steel pipes and your scythes.
The crowbar was actually my weapon of choice, and then the kitchen knife was actually very solid as well.
Yeah, that did some damage. Just like two stabbing those like dolls.
Yeah, yeah. The crowbar was good. The kitchen knife is pretty quick. The So as you the what is it, the omowatis, I think it are. I forget the name. Of the
Omomoris.
omomoris. Yeah, I always mix that one up. So I continue to pull those, and I got several at one point. One was whenever you kill a creature, you gain health. You gain a slight bit
Yeah,
of health.
the
And then
crow.
there was another one that increased, I think it was my stamina, I believe. Or no, it was your weapons have a higher durability. Like when they're a higher durability, do more damage or something like that, right? And then the other one I had said your weapons have higher durability and uh, the effectiveness of the other ones are enhanced. So when you got later stage in the game and you're walking around with your fox arm, and when you're siphoning energy off the enemies that you defeat, well, every time you siphon energy, you're gaining back health. Well, I got to a point where I could just kill a bunch of enemies and siphon a bunch of health, and I didn't have to use items unless I
Yeah.
was really low and I was worried I might get knocked out. It was pretty consistent at, okay, knock out a couple of enemies, siphon the health. I'm back to full health. Let's go ahead and take care of this enemy.
I mean, we were both playing on story, so it's not like there was a lot of challenge, especially in the fact that like you never lost like max sanity.
Mm.
It like
I lost sanity. Well,
you use your
you
sanity,
use
but
it,
like
yeah.
your max sanity that you would have, and
Yeah.
also on story mode, your sanity and your health recover whenever you go to a shrine.
Yeah.
So there's just like so many things that I'm sure would have been way harder if
Yeah,
it
definitely.
wasn't for those like free heals and like not having to sweat the sanity as much. But
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes back to why we initially did story mode, right? We didn't want to be in a situation where we didn't want to enjoy the game. We wanted to enjoy Silent Hill F, and I think we both did. I thought it
Yeah.
was a fantastic game. It had a great ending. It does have some replayability if you're interested in going that route. It's personally not something I plan on doing anytime soon. But down the road, maybe I do decide to revisit it, and I'll have my save file, and I can enjoy that new game plus. I'll probably forget to not take red capsules though. So
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be a game that like I might want to revisit for like future spooky seasons.
yeah, I think so. Well,
Like every
what
year this time of year I try to like bust out a little bit of Luigi's Mansion.
you should play some Little Nightmares.
Mm,
That's always a good one. We should do that one for
yeah.
inflation deflation. Maybe we do that next week. Wait,
Isn't
I
the
don't know. Have
third
you
one of
played?
those coming out soon?
Yeah, I think it's already out. Pretty sure it is. But yeah, I think you can, because you still have your Xbox Game Pass, right?
For
Like
now.
So yeah, I mean, take advantage of it. I think it's on Game Pass. I would imagine it is.
Okay.
So maybe we'll play some Little Nightmares
Oh,
next week.
Little Nightmares 3, I guess, released 2 days ago.
Oh, there we go. Timely. I knew it was coming out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about the inflation
We should have
deflation.
done that this week.
No, because I'm not going to pay like $50 for Little Nightmares 3. I haven't beat the second one yet.
No, I mean, like, we should have done the first one for like the release of that one.
Oh, it's all good. We'll play it next. We'll play number 1 next week. Um, all right, let's. What else you got here? Finish Silent Hill, which
Oh,
applaud. You finished it. You finished a video game. Yep,
mm-hmm.
that's a rarity on
And
this show with you.
I beat it before you did too.
Yeah, you did. Well, yeah, I was super busy. I didn't have an opportunity to do it. So, but
I know. I
I
told
did.
my wife last week. I was like, "We got to prioritize this. John's like further than us, and if he's gonna beat it by next week, we better too." So I
Yeah,
think we
no,
beat it on like Wednesday.
yeah, and then I beat it last night. Is when I pumped 3 hours into it last night. So yeah, it was good. It was solid.
It was a good game. It had great breaks. Like there was very good like places to be able to like stop and put it down and then come back the next time, which I
Yeah,
appreciate.
definitely, especially when you go to like the Dark Shrine, and it's a very
Mhm.
obvious. Okay, we've transitioned. We're
Yeah,
into a Dark
it was
Shrine. It's
very well
obviously
paced in those ways.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. And there were some instances where might have to stop in between, but I never felt like I was at a point where I couldn't stop or couldn't put it down. That's not a negative. I mean that in the sense of there was enough options to save where we
Mhm.
were, maybe it's different in, story mode versus the other mode, but there's plenty of save options for us and uh, plenty of good stopping points in the story, right? And cutscenes weren't that long either, which is also pretty
Yeah.
cool. So that was kind of nice, but yeah, I liked it, man. And exploring every facet of a town and what's happening. And one thing we didn't really get into, I guess, before we dive into the next things that you're playing, but as far as the characters being dead or not, what's your opinion on that? Do you think that all the characters are actually dead based
Yeah.
on? I think they said something about like a sulfur mine or something. I don't remember exactly, but they said there's the fog is obviously due to some like natural disaster. I think is what's noted within the game as you progress. But I'm actually along the lines of they're not dead. Like, well, they are dead in the first ending, of course, right? Shu and Fox Mask, but they're dead at the end of the game because of that psychotic breakdown of what's happened. But she's technically alive in that ending because it's like some alternate state. She's all of what's occurred in the game and what's happening is in her head. Like she's gone through a psychotic breakdown and murdered and gone on a murdering spree. So she's alive based on that in the game. But as you do the other endings, it's like, wait, is she? Is she not? Not 100% sure.
Yeah, I
And
think everybody's dead. Just it I I mean, she kind of killed everybody. So
yeah,
that's why
but
I
they say
tend to
that
go that way.
but then they said she's at large. So that would be an indication that Hinako's actually alive. So that's what's kind of weird. Like they have those alternate endings and then they have the true ending. And it's like, well, if the true ending and the true ending even kind of feels like she's still technically having a psychotic breakdown, but she's just kind of getting to, kind of come to
She's really
terms.
riding it.
Well, she's kind of coming to terms with like the whole situation. So is she just going crazy and we're just seeing one side of it in that ending? Don't know
Who's to
100%.
say?
They kind of leave it up, in the air for interpretation, I think. So, all right. So what else are you playing?
So still playing Silk Song. I finally managed to beat the Clockwork Dancers, and it wasn't that bad. I kind of realized something that I neglected to do. So there's this like midpoint town that you reach, Bellheart, and you've got to do like a quest thing to like rescue the town. Well, in the town, like usually you come out of like the fast travel tunnel, or you come in from one of the sides and there's a little shop there. But there's also a part where you like platform up and there's some upper level buildings. And after I rescued the town, I never went to the upper level, which is where you get your first like upgrade for your nail to make it stronger so that you do more like base damage. So I went back and had to like two of the bosses I beat last week, I wound up beating them without that upgrade. So I'm trying to go back now and more thoroughly explore the map since I have some new navigation techniques and things. And really try to make sure that I'm not missing critical upgrades on my path that might have been holding me back. So I got that, and I got the flint steel, which is an upgrade or an item that you can equip that also upgrades your damage for a short period of time. So I've got that combined with the poison, so I'm just doing way more damage with my attacks now, and it's going pretty well, although it does eat up my resources like crazy. So I'll probably need to go back and do some farming. I did a little bit of farming for some rosaries to get some stuff. There's another crest that's supposed to be really good, which changes up your move set, but you've got to buy a bunch of accessories to unlock the crest. I think you need to buy like 9 things or something. So that's like a lot more grinding and stuff that I'll have to do, but I'm still having a good time. I'm still exploring. I'm still not like fully going into, learning everything, but I have been more open now to watching some videos and learning a little bit more about the game and just not being so closed off about it. So I think that'll help me start to advance a little bit more, because it's been out for like well over a month now, and everybody else has beaten or destroyed this game. So I want to keep making progress, and we'll see how it goes.
Nice. Well, I mean, you beat Silent Hill F within 2 weeks of its release, right? So
yeah.
that was some
I mean,
pretty
that
good
one
progress.
went quick. And then I got to get onto
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that won't take too long. And then I really want to play some spooky games. Like I said, I've been thinking about busting out the Luigi's Mansion, or I don't know. I still have never really beat Night in the Woods, and that's a game that I've always wanted to play, and I feel like that's kind of like fall-ish, maybe.
You and Barisha play the Blair Witch Project on PS4.
I've heard about that one.
Yeah, that's a good one, I thought. Or I felt when I played that one. I think I played that with
Did we play that for the podcast?
No, I played that on my own. I picked it up a while back.
You and Jason played that, right? When he was in town or something?
Justin?
I remember you telling me. Justin.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah, you said Jason. I know a Jason, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know anybody I play video games with named Jason. No, so Justin and I beat that a long time ago. God, it was in my house in Mesa, actually. It was before, I want to say it was before COVID that we beat that. So, but it was a good game. I feel like you two might enjoy that one, and it should be pretty cheap for that one. So it was good. It felt like I was playing the movie, actually, and I very much enjoyed the movie years ago. So, yeah, good ending, good gameplay, nice scares throughout. So good stuff for spooky season.
It's got a dog in it too.
It does. That's right. I forgot about that. There is a dog in the game, and it does kind of help make things less spooky when you have a dog.
There's that like dog horror movie that's out this year. I got to check that out.
I don't know which one that is.
It's like a movie where like it's a horror movie, but a dog is like the main character, and I think the whole movie is from like the dog's perspective.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I want to check that out. We've been watching a lot of spooky stuff. Like we just watched Weapons last night. Oh my God. That was a great movie. That was such a good movie.
We tried to watch Casper, but my son wasn't having it. We had to turn it off at the lawyer
that was
scene.
Bree's favorite.
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now. So that might be one to pop up. Dude, 1995, I think it's a 30-year-old movie now. That's insane.
And me and Bree were talking earlier when we were playing the Siren.
Yeah.
And she was like, man, I remember Final Fantasy X looking so much better than this. I was like, when did that come out? 2001?
Yeah, that was dude, I remember a distinct conversation with Final Fantasy X, and I was sitting with my uncle, and we were playing it, and he's like, wow, these graphics are so realistic. I can't believe that technology has come this far. Like that's exactly like almost word for word how it went down.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, I don't know how I can get any better than this. So that was, we were watching, cause I was excited. It was before Final Fantasy X came out, and I had the official PlayStation magazine. And so I had demos of all these different games, and occasionally you had videos of certain games. So it was before the era where I could stream YouTube on my
Yeah.
TV, and I was popping in a demo just to play the video of Final Fantasy X so he could see it. And yeah, he was like, "Wow, this is so great." So we've come a long way with video games, and Final Fantasy X is still fantastic. I just don't know if
Yeah.
I could play it through on PS2 when you have all the the HD upgrades or whatever they put out for it. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Like in my mind, like it always did look really good, but I can never not remember like the scene where Lulu is like holding Yuna and like stroking her hair, but like her hand is like a good 3 inches away from the back of her head because they just couldn't get the models to actually touch.
So Witcher is very much like that too, with what's happening. So it's so funny. Like Geralt at one point is getting up, and I just see like these blocks of hair missing as he stands up. It's brutal, dude. And some of the different scenes that are like the cut scenes that are created are just so janky. You're at one point you're chasing a werewolf down, and it's just like this slow pace chase that you're watching, and in the cutscene, like his hair is blocky and his moves are just not fluid. Like it's really not that great when you look at it, but it still holds up, I think. And it's the enhanced edition, which makes it even worse. I can't imagine playing like the standard non-enhanced version of this game. So that's where things stand.
Well, speaking of a standard non-enhanced version of a game,
there we go. That's a good segue.
Universes Beyond, Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering head says Universes Beyond isn't an evil agenda that's being forced on players. This is by Quentin O'Connor at The Gamer. Mark Rosewater.
I'm going to call bullshit right now, by the way. So go on. You continue, but I'm calling bullshit right now based on what I'm going to talk about.
Mark Rosewater, he is the head designer of Magic the Gathering. He's been working there for like fucking ever. I have actually just in the last couple of weeks started watching some like talks and presentations he had. He's gotten some good things from like Magic Con where he goes over like, here's my like top 20 keyword abilities that we've ever made, or like the 20 worst card designs we've ever made. And a lot of those videos I learned a lot, and he's a very strong game designer. He's been a big part of Magic's success, and it's not like he's the guy. Like it's definitely a team effort, but he's kind of the guy. So anyways, in a recent article that he wrote on his blog, he talks about Magic the Gathering and the Universes Beyond kind of situation that we all find ourselves in, where many Magic players do not like Universes Beyond. They're being very vocal about not liking Universes Beyond, but Final Fantasy was the most selling Universes Beyond set ever. Spider-Man's prices climbed to like the second or third highest release ever. Like not how much money they made on that release, but like how much the boxes were reselling for. Like there's a market for this. And basically, I don't know if it really mentions it in this article, but I had heard another take of his or off this same take recently about like, he wasn't a big Commander person, but other people were into Commander. And so he just kind of tried to like find the fun in what they wanted with Commander. And he's trying to push that agenda now here with Universes Beyond to try to, calm the audience and be like, hey, this might not be your thing, but the numbers aren't lying to us. Like, we're not trying to just shove this down your throats, but everybody's buying this. So we're going to keep doing it. And I'm sure that as much as he's trying to, calm the pulse of the community, it's really not his decision. Like Hasbro's the one who's calling the shots. And he also talks in the article that, this isn't a Hasbro exclusive thing. Like multi, platform crossover content is huge across the entertainment spectrum, not just in Magic. So it's kind of just a trend in the entertainment industry, and Magic is gaining success with that. And apparently they're just kind of tired of hearing everybody complain about it.
Well, so here's the bullshit part. He says that they're not shoving it down everybody's throat, but it's in standard. So it's in rotation.
Standard isn't like the biggest format anymore anyway.
Standard is
Commander
like the biggest. Yeah, well, yes, but standard is a competitive format. Like, as far as modern versus standard versus legacy versus vintage, standard is the one that it's the newest cards, it's the cheapest entry point. It is going to sell the most product up front. So if you have Universes Beyond and standard, you're requiring, in a sense, people to buy those cards because they have to be able to stay competitive in Magic.
If you're trying to stay competitive in Magic, you're going to buy the most recent thing no matter what it was. Like, you might not like that it's Polly Pocket themed, but you ultimately, at the end of the day, don't really care about any of those cards individually. You're trying to build the most optimized deck with what is currently available, and you could trade out any piece of any of that for anything else, and you're going to. Like, the deck that you're playing right now is not the deck you're going to be playing in 2 years. And it's not because you didn't love the cards that were in that deck. It's because ultimately they're game pieces, and that's all they are to you when you're playing competitively. Like, they don't need to be your wallpaper and your tattoo and like your whole persona. Like, you don't have to be Vampire Nighthawk. You could be Polly Pocket themed Vampire Nighthawk if it gets the job done.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I understand that component, but to say that they're not forcing it on players as a product to move forward, that's bullshit, because you are forcing, in a sense, the sales of that product. And I get it. You can buy singles and you can just buy that one card, right? But somebody has to crack those packs open to get those singles online. And there's plenty of standard players out there that probably feel, all right, I'll buy a couple packs here and there because I need to up my standard deck. The other component here is that they're saying, oh, it's super successful. Right? Well, it's super successful because you're putting in chase cards that are selling for $30,000, $40,000 from non-Magic players. People are literally just trying to scalp the product and sell it. So yeah, it's super successful financially because the people that aren't playing Magic are the ones that are buying the damn product. So that's really what.
And it is a product designed to bring in non-Magic players. Like, obviously, scalpers are a bigger issue outside of like what that they can control, because it affects multiple industries, and it's just kind of the enshittification of the world that we live in right now. But like, the key idea with the product is that it should be bringing in people that are not like your sweaty standard Friday Night Magic players.
And I don't know
like,
what it is.
Those players are not the majority. They're not the giant Commander audience. And they're not all the like just like kitchen table Magic people, and they're not the audience that is coming in because of those crossovers. So it's like, when you look at those three audiences versus just the sweaty standard players like that are complaining, you know, are you going to listen to the three people that are giving you money, or the one guy who's buying it and complaining about it? Like, everybody's buying it in this situation.
I'm not a sweaty nerd.
Well, sweaty in the sense where you're like,
I know,
I just top tier, like going in killer deck, no mercy.
I get it, but like I said, it's to say it is not a forced product when you're putting it into a competitive part of Magic the Gathering is in fact forcing the product on people, because they feel like they need to purchase it to be competitive. So they have no choice in the matter but to purchase it to be competitive. That's like, the issue.
That's where we are now. Like, after the lead up to where we are now, like, Universes Beyond has been a thing for a while. So they've had enough groundwork to build up to this point where now I would say that you're right. Like, it's being forced in a way. I mean, not even in a way, like, it's being forced because half the fucking sets are Universes Beyond, and it's delaying actual Magic sets. And it's not getting enough time and care and effort to actually make those sets good, like the Spider-Man set. I mean, I'm almost tired of hearing people complain about the Spider-Man set just because it's like the problems with it are so obvious. Like, you would never make a set of Magic that had 42 Chandras in it, I think is what people are saying. Like, there's 42 guys named Spider-Man in this set. And that's just like an unnecessary amount, no matter how you look at it.
And I don't have too many issues of Universes Beyond, like with the original concept that they brought in with Secret Lair, like the one that's getting launched technically the day of this recording. I'm interested in buying some of those things, like the Demonic
The
Tutor.
Furbies?
No, I'm not buying any Furby stuff, but there's certain cards that I look at. I'm like, okay, yeah, like the Dwight stuff, as stupid as it is, I might just for the hilarity of that, like pick that one up, right? Just for the Swords of Plowshares with a beat. Um, but like the Jaws thing, I'm not super interested in that. I'm not super interested in the Iron Maiden pieces. I'm not really a fan of the Furby stuff, but I do like the Demonic Tutor art and everything that's tied to that. I think that that's actually pretty cool, and it's a reprint of a pretty pricey
Well,
card, so it makes sense.
and that's just like a regular universes within. Like that's just
Yeah.
one of the secret layers where they were just like, hey, we're gonna grab a great artist, let them pick some cards, and just go wild.
Yeah.
Like that's sick. But like,
and that's
the
cool.
universes,
Like keep it to that. Like keep it to. I know, and they're doing limited printing now again, right? Which is they did it and then they got rid of it and people were happy, but I guess they weren't selling enough product because there wasn't enough FOMO, so they went back to it to be able to sell out of whatever stock they had to sell out of, and it makes sense to do that. But it's the worst thing that you can do for Magic. I mean, you see how Pokemon is, and you see people chasing the cards and the high prices and the scalping and people like knocking everyone over when a new set of cards comes out.
So
like
the
that's
thing
what
with
Magic's turning
Pokemon
into.
is though, like you can make a really cheap competitive Pokemon deck because all the money is just in the fancy versions of the cards. So it's like almost every deck is made up of like the same item cards that you're going to recycle in every deck, and then you just switch out the Pokemon. And if you want to play it cheap, you could totally play it cheap. But if you want to bling it out, I mean, it's like in Magic, you could buy the like borderless full art cards, or you can just buy like the regular standard versions, and like there's a huge difference on what you're paying.
Well, the problem being is that like given the cost of these Universes Beyond sets as well, we're talking like $160 to $200 for a booster box of Spider-Man. You're getting less packs than you initially did, with it being I think 30 and a higher price point as well. It's tied onto that, so the value on those cards just naturally stays higher than what it used to be. Like when you have your sets that are 30 booster packs and 120 cards, or even 36 boosters and $120 back then as well. So realistically, some of those competitive cards are much higher than they probably would normally be in a set. So I remember like Meat Hook Massacre, when it was first came out, was maybe what, 25, $30 a card. It shot up pretty high because there was a high demand for that product.
I got three of those.
Yeah, I got two or three as well. It's dropped in price since then, but like there were a few cards that would be at a higher price point, whereas now I feel like there's a lot more that are higher price points. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of thinking out loud on that. But like the VV card shot up in value for some time as well. Like there were just certain cards that normally I don't think would have gone as high as they were. And I think naturally it's just because the sets are so much more money. So people, naturally say, okay,
VV
well, it
was
costs
part of that broken combo.
Yeah, it was. And Agatha's Soul Culture and all that stuff. And that, that's a card that wasn't getting reprinted a ton anyways in terms of new products. So all I'm saying is that it's a higher price product to begin with less packs, which means people are naturally going to say, hey, this is of higher value because I spent so much more money. So they're trying to find a value in these cards. And then the collector's editions are going for such stupid money as well that I imagine if somebody sees, a collector's edition card going for thousands upon thousands of dollars, then the natural thought is, oh, well, my normal version, if that's sold for $50,000, and my normal version must be around $100 to $60, right? And that might not normally be the case. So I don't know. I think Hasbro is driving Magic into the ground, and I can also see them removing the reserve list at some point, like trying to get out of that to maximize the amount of money that they can make.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think with this whole Universes Beyond thing is that it's very hit or miss depending on the audience and the brand. Like you and I can both agree that we're not ultimately we would prefer Magic to stay Magic, I think, if we had a choice, but Final Fantasy was kind of fun. We both like Final Fantasy. Seeing those cards in Magic, not like the worst thing. I know that I kind of came to the realization that I didn't mind seeing Spider-Man in Magic because I already see Spider-Man every time I play Magic because he's already at the comic book store.
It's part of the gathering.
Yeah, he's already part of the gathering, but it is a lot easier in the secret layer to ignore or just not have to care. Like, a lot of this kind of comes from some takes that I've seen recently, especially stuff like with like the professor on Talarian. So if I'm rehashing some of the stuff that he said, that's where I got it. But like, nobody really cares about the Furbies. Like, that must have been some bargain bin deal, or like, I guess Hasbro already probably owns Furby, would be my guess, like in some way, and that's why they were able to use that licensing and decided that that was a worthwhile thing. Like, it's got to be some kind of like internal cross promotion that they're trying to do.
Hasbro owns a Furby license.
Yeah, so that makes sense. And then like Jaws, I think Jaws might have had like an anniversary this year or something, but like Jaws is a big shark. Like, not all of the cards are gonna be, hits, but like boats and sharks, that's not too wild, I guess, to have in your Magic. Um, but like
Polypock is
the
not happening, by the way. It's owned by Mattel. Just saying.
okay,
Yeah, so
but
we're clear.
the Office, the professor, I definitely got this from him. The Office has been off the air for 12 years. Like, that's an old show, and it might be very core to some people, but it's just like the amount of people that has to just miss, or is just like, you think it would be funny to buy those cards, but like you're not actually excited to buy those cards. Like, you want to get it for the lulz.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you choosing such an old, weird property to associate with this? Like, are we going to get Alf cards? Like, where are we going to go? What are some things that you would like to see in universes beyond John, or what things do you think we will see? Like, I'm going
Yeah.
to throw it out there. The Simpsons. Like, there's going to
Stole it.
be some Simpsons cards, and the Homer donut is going to be a Soul Ring. It's going to happen.
So I would rather Universes Beyond just be Secret Lair, or its own sets that can be tied into things like, Legacy, for like, that's it. Like some of the formats that can accept anything, right? Like, I would like to see Universes Beyond be that. Like, take it out of standard rotation, take it out of competitive
Just make it all
play.
Commander cards.
Commander's perfectly fine. Like, if they want to do Universes Beyond Commander decks and like it's exclusively just Universes Beyond Commander,
Spider-Man Commander decks would have been dope.
yeah, and leave it at that. Like, just leave it at that. That's all you need. And you're going to have Commander players, like, they'll buy it, right? Like, because it's that one thing that they want to play. Putting it in standard is just bullshit to me, and it was a terrible move to begin with, and they're doing it purely, obviously, for profit, and that makes sense to do that. But the way that they've gone about it, like I said, forcing people to have to buy those cards to stay in competitive play is, they knew what they were doing, right? If we put it in a format where people are forced to play those cards to stay competitive, then they're going to buy the product and we're going to see success. So they did that from the get-go. But as far as like things I could see them doing down the road, really anything comic book related, we're seeing it with Ninja Turtles and the whole Commander deck. Is that a set, by the way, or is it a Commander deck only?
What?
The Ninja Turtles for Magic.
No, I think it's going to be like a full set.
Oh, God. See, like, I love Ninja Turtles, and that's a set that I would probably enjoy, like the artwork on it, but the concept of it being in standard is absolutely ridiculous to me. Like, and considering you just had an entire set of Spider-Man in New York, and now what are you going to do? Like, have Spider-Man versus Ninja Turtles? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like a crossover within a crossover, like, it's just stupid. But if that was just a Commander deck, I would totally buy that product as just a Commander deck. And I probably will with the Commander deck that comes out, right? Because I enjoy the property. With other things I could see, so anything comic related, like I could see them doing the Darkness would be a pretty interesting one to see. Obviously, they've already hit Spider-Man, which means Marvel is open game at this point. As far as they want to bring in.
There's gonna be a bunch more Marvel, but like, do you think that Game of Thrones has waned pretty hard, but Game of Thrones seems like a pretty ripe one to grab.
Yeah, I have that noted. Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. If you're already doing Star Trek, you could technically
I didn't even think about Harry Potter.
Yeah, and Harry Potter, technically, they did Strixhaven, which is
Their own
basically
version of
their
Harry
own
Potter.
version of their own version of Harry Potter. But you realistically could do Harry Potter, Star Wars, and then
Star Wars already has its own games.
It
so
does.
I doubt that they're going to cross that. But Marvel does have Marvel Snap.
Well, and here's the thing. So if they're doing Star Trek, naturally, I think they're doing Star Trek, right?
Yeah, but I think you do Star Trek because you can't do Star War.
Yes. Even though Star Wars is the superior one. Sorry. So
I'm not going to argue.
Oh, I know. We're going to get people shitting on us now. They're going to be like, I'm never listening to Game Deflators again. Screw you guys. But if they do Star Trek and then they somehow collaborate, I mean, they were already working with Disney because of Spider-Man. So you could theoretically say, yeah, Star Wars does have a shot to get in this. I could see people getting excited about Star Wars versus Star Trek Commander decks. That would be kind of interesting, right? Not
the
versus
Spock
as in
Vader
combined.
Deck you never knew you wanted.
Not versus, like as in combined, but like at a table of a bunch of players. Like, some people playing Star Wars, some people playing Star Trek. I could see people getting excited about that. Sims I have noted as well as another property I could see happening. But we've seen so many weird ones. Like the Secret Lair is coming out tomorrow. They have Iron Maiden cards that they're collaborating with. So could you see other musicians?
Oh my God, the Beatles, Magic the Gathering.
Oh God, no, please no. I'm surprised they didn't do an Ozzy set.
Tap 7 and play the Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough one. Have you seen the Yellow Submarine movie, by the way?
No.
That's a trip, dude. They must have been like on psychedelics the entire time they were directing and acting for that thing. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That's a crazy movie. But so yes, I could see them doing like a Beatles set. I could see them doing an Ozzy set. I'm surprised an Ozzy set didn't come out or rushed out given the whole situation, or even a Secret Lair dedicated to Ozzy. I'm very surprised it didn't happen.
Man, I would buy a Tenacious D Secret Lair for sure.
That'd be an interesting one. But like Demonic Tutor would have been pretty cool or Dark Ritual, like Ozzy biting off the head of a bat as a Dark Ritual. Like that's kind of like cool stuff I would want to see in Secret Lair. It's cards that already exist. They're not like exclusive to Secret Lair. But if you want
an excuse for reprints.
Yeah, but if you want to shell out the money to have a cool looking card that maybe fits something that you're a fan of, then great, you can do that. But again, to force it down our throats with standard is ridiculous.
Well, and make cards that are worth it too. Like I've seen some reviews of some of these, and it's just like the dollar value in some sets is great, and then the dollar value in other sets is like, here's $5 worth of cards for $30.
Yeah, like the Demonic Tutor one that's tomorrow, it's like $40 for the foil version, and Demonic Tutor is like normally a $50 card. Yeah, of course, like I'm gonna buy that reprint because why not? It's a $50 card normally, and you're gonna foil it out with some kind of romantic-y artwork that really actually kind of ties in nicely with that card. Sure, I'll buy that. And it's not any sort of weird property. It's just really cool artwork. And that's why I like some of those lands that come out on there too, right? Like there's some really cool lands that come out.
It's just such a bad deal selling the lands though, where it's just like 5 lands for $30. Like give us bullshit. Like a full set of lands, man.
Yeah. Really if they were to say, it's going to be like 20 lands total, right? So 4 of like kind of like Bloomborough, right? 5 colors, 4 lands per thing. If you did that,
let you order like 20 of one.
Yeah, that'd be nice too. Instead, it's like, what are you going to do? Frame it? Every single one you get? Like, this is just dumb, And some of them hold their value, some don't. But
yeah, I was doing that, trying to put that shopping list of like Secret Lair planes is what I was going to put in my draft kit, but
I
haven't committed to it. But yeah, some of those, there's like some that are really cool, like the Japanese like Tokyo intersection one is like $20, but then like the jellyfishing fields is like $2.
Yeah, there's lands in like the Kawiyama set that are more than that, right? So, all right, we should move on. We've been moving on. We're gonna piss off Will at PlayStation Ain't Dead. He hates our Magic conversations. He's very notorious for sending me memes after the fact of how angry he is that we talk Magic. So we'll get into something that he likes even better, and that's Nintendo.
Leave it in the comments, Will.
Yeah. So Nintendo has allegedly been hacked by Crimson Collective, a hacking group. A screenshot of theirs is showing folders of production assets, developer files, backups, everything, you name it. This comes from Tom's Hardware. So Nintendo, it's a rumor still, unless something comes out after this recording. But basically, Nintendo has not confirmed that they have in fact been hacked. We probably will not find out at any point that they were or were not hacked, unless it has anything to do with consumer privacy. And
something they're obligated to denounce.
Yeah, exactly. I just can't see it happening.
Report.
The question that I'm going to bring up for you on this, though, I think it's pretty obvious, right? Hacker group says they hacked Nintendo. They show proof in the form of a screenshot of a bunch of folders that look like Nintendo type folders. We've kind of talked about this in the past, but how do you think that this affects the industry? In my mind, I kind of like this, right? I like seeing Nintendo get hit with a hacking for specifically marketing and other things, because it, in a sense, creates excitement for different games and products, and it's a spoiler for what's to come. I kind of personally like it, and not saying that I like hackers going and like stealing data of consumers like that. I'm totally against, but to go in and like, take a couple screenshots of a game and post it publicly or whatever, as a gamer and as somebody who can get excited for certain games, like I would be okay with some spoilers here or there. Like it doesn't bother me much. I know Nintendo hates it because it hurts them.
Between just being like a leaker and being like an extortionist.
Yeah, exactly. Extorting them for money and such. And the other thing too is like, is this like what has been taken? Does Nintendo even really give a damn?
I mean, Nintendo gives a damn about just about anything that they can. And they give so much of a damn, they'll take you to court over it most of the time.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But,
so, I mean, in this instance, like, we'll see if anything cool comes of it. I mean, the Giga leak from years ago, that was like a lot of information. But, I mean, even where we're at now, I mean, we're so far past that I don't think there's anything that I can think of or remember that, like, we don't really know about at this point, or it hasn't been revealed. I mean, I would be shocked if it was actually something cool. Like, my best guess is that we're going to get some insights into Alarmo 2 or just something really dumb. Like maybe they're planning like
the Alarmo 2
a new
now in
Kirby
green
cupcake at Nintendo Land theme park, or they're going to expand the wait list for the Nintendo Museum. Like, I'm imagining that it's all like kind of garbage, like PR announcement stuff and nothing really juicy that they got their hands on.
I mean, there might be something juicy in there if it's PR announcements. If it's PR worthy, it's juicy.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Much of when Nintendo announces this these days, it's like,
never mind.
Like,
yeah, never mind. You brought up a good point. Alarmo 2. Right, like
yeah,
that I could see that getting its own press release from Nintendo, and it having just some random ass, addition compared to the first Alarmo, and then moving on with that. I totally see that. Yeah, as far as like the industry is concerned, though, it would hurt Nintendo, of course, because your competitors would clearly see what's coming up and what the marketing tactics are and how they were going to address it and what time of year it's supposed to come out. And, I could see that being a negative issue for Nintendo as gamers, as long as it's not hurting us in our personal lives to see, leaks because of this type of stuff. I mean, I think most gamers are actually kind of okay with it.
I think Nintendo is like a fine enough company to be able to weather this type of thing. I just hate for this type of event to happen to like other studios or companies where it has more of a direct effect on, people's jobs, people getting laid off because like this had, such a profound effect that it like changed things around, like consumer sentiment is a lot and it could steer games a lot. I mean, look at what happened to Concord because of consumer sentiment. Like, if you have some information get out there about a game that people aren't pleased about, even years before it's finished, like that could spell doom and disaster and just put a bad taste in a, public's mind about a game, and they might prejudge it before it even really gets a chance to shine.
It could, but it could also have the opposite effect where consumers are pretty pissed off and voice their concerns over a game that's supposed to come out, and the studio takes that into consideration and makes the adjustments and addresses that consumer feedback. So in a sense, what you've done is you've created a customer as well over that situation. So it could go either way. It could be, yes, like you're saying, negative taste in the mouth. They don't want to play that game because of, whatever leaks they saw that have ruined their opinion
Oh,
early
this game
on.
looks terrible. Well, it's
Yeah.
a beta build.
Yeah.
I'm never going to buy that game. It looked so bad when I first saw it.
Yeah. But then you also have the situation of, okay, hey, we've addressed your concerns. This is a beta. It's still 2 years in development. We're going to be providing additional updates and we're going to show you the progress. Like, I mean, there's ways to approach it and there's ways to not, right? So I guess we'll see if this amounts to anything for Nintendo. I personally don't think it is. And it's probably honestly like old files. They're like, oh yeah, we hacked Nintendo and we've got all of these files of Nintendo marketing and development stuff that we're going to parse
Behind
through.
the scenes design work on Alarmo 1.
And then they find out it was just 2024 folders, right? Or 2022 when it's all said and done. It's like, all right, well, this didn't work out. And that's how companies are, man. Like you're setting up on your back end all of your stuff and you're organizing. You might throw a bunch of old stuff in there and, it's cataloged accordingly and somebody hacks it and they're trying to go quick and that's what they grab, I guess. So I'm not a hacker. I wouldn't know. But yeah, I just don't see it go anywhere. So I guess moving on to our next piece is our inflation deflation of Siren. So this was developed by Sony Computer Entertainment Japan. It was published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It was, according to your notes here, Director with DOR instead of director. So it was directed by Keiichiro Toyama. It was released in, God, I think we screwed me up here, April of 2024. I saw the 4. Normally you would say like the month. And it is screw me up all over. Ryan, it's too late for this. And it was released in, I already said that, it is a survival horror stealth game with a reception of 7 out of 10. By the way, I never really understood the Famitsu, scoring model for some time, like it's 32 out of 40 and all that. I don't know why I didn't know this. So apparently they get 4 people to review the game and then they out of 10 they do that and then they score it up and it's out of 40. And I guess
it's just such a weird way to do it.
Yeah, and I guess
because you can have a tie, like you should use an odd number of people.
That's very true as well. And then like they have like out of 80, I think too, right? I'm pretty sure I've seen like out of 80 on Famitsu. So that would be, I guess, an indication of like, hey, I got a 72 out of 80, which would technically be what, a 9 out of 10, I guess. So
I guess so.
Yeah, no, that's the math. So
just divide by 4. Get your answer.
There you go. So, all right, let's tell everybody what Siren is all about. I was about to say Silent Hill.
Yeah, I know. I got it on the mind too. So, in a small village of Hanuta, a disparate group of outsiders are all caught in what they believe to be an earthquake. But this supernatural event has given sight to some and turned many of the locals into the zombie-like Shibito. You must hijack the sight of these monsters and navigate each mission to survive and escape. It's a very interesting game. So this is actually Keiichiro Toyama. He did work on Silent Hill, the original. And so after he left Team Silent and everything and went off to do his own thing, this is kind of where he went. And it's a very similar kind of take on a, spooky little town. And I guess in this one, the main conceit that they came up with was being able to use this hijack vision mode where you are able to like focus and then you can tune in with the left analog stick and find and look through the vision of enemies and I guess even other allies or NPCs on the map. So it's kind of like a radar that you use to look out of other people's vision. So when you're holding L2 to like channel, then you're using the left analog stick and pointing it. And if you point in a direction and somebody is in that direction, you can then see through their eyes. So you're able to tell where people are and also kind of judge whether or not they can see you, all without having to use like a mini map with like a radar on it like you would in a more traditional game.
Yeah, and the game itself is pretty spooky, I would say, for its time. I can definitely see that being a game that graphically back then, right, when graphics were top notch and we all
Oh,
felt it could get better. Yeah, go on.
I actually learned something about the graphics for the game too. So they did like photos of all the actors' faces from different
Mm.
angles. And so that's why they look so really well done and why they're so emotive looking compared to other, of the time era. And also a little bit uncanny. Like it looks very much to me like something AI made in like a fever dream like a year ago, but ultimately like the characters' faces and expressions like do hold up pretty well. Like it's not an awful looking game by any means.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. It's not an awful looking game. From a gameplay perspective, though, I do feel it's a bit clunky. Um, like a good example is in the beginning when you have to find the key to get in the car or the van, right? And okay, well, let me walk in here. Okay. Hey, there's a key. Do I pick it up? Do I not? Select it. Okay, walk out. Do I open the door? Do I not? Okay, select it. Put the key in. Select it. Open the door.
Yeah.
Select, like, you know,
Having to do
insert.
everything with that triangle select is weird.
Yeah. And then, like, having the option of, like, do it or don't do it. And then, I get like the shout mechanic, for example, and like the come here mechanic and all that, but it's just kind of interesting. Like if you accidentally hit shout when you're not supposed to, just when you press it. So that to me was very clunky. The visuals, like the depth perception of the game is okay. That makes sense because obviously it's dark, flashlight, at least in that piece that you're playing or what we played. So it makes total sense to go about it and have like terrible depth. But even I don't know, even like the site hacking at times, like it felt innovative, but it didn't feel clean, right? It wasn't very clear. Like if you're site hacking or seeing something from somebody's like point of view and vision, I would want it to be a little more crisp. And it didn't feel like that. It felt like you have that analog TV kind of sound, like going from
You had to
site
really
hack.
tune into the right frequency to get it like clear
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Which it's kind of like if it's a superpower and in a sense, and you're able to like see in, through these people's eyes, then you should be pretty good at it. You should be able to see like very
I mean,
clearly and
they
not have like
just got the power.
they did just get the power, I get it, but I don't see that changing at any point as you progress into the game.
No.
Also the aspect of like if a supporting member dies, right, and you just kind of restart, right? Or if you die, you just kind of restart. So there's not really a situation where you die and you load up your game where you stopped. It's like no, you die and you just kind of restart that section and keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's very much a weird kind of like arcade level based progression with kind of like these, you know, I just don't associate a lot of games like that where it's like a third person survival horror, but it's just kind of like individual level selected based, but it also
Well,
has this weird kind of like timing schedule for everybody where like you're actually playing the game in an order but not necessarily in chronological order because you'll jump around like what day and what time and what character you're playing next.
well, because it has butterfly effect tied into it, so all the stories are intertwined. So, like the first scene that you get to, it's the student. I forget his name, but like he stumbles in on a sacrifice that's occurring, right? And so then the girl is there, she escapes, and then there's a whole thing that's tied to her. And then you have the professor and the girl that he's with, and the things that are occurring, the enemies that they kill, and how they interact in that town is going to have some sort of direct impact or indirect impact on other characters that you're playing at the same time frame. So that's kind of a cool I kind of like that, the whole butterfly effect piece. Like, things are always happening, and realistically, if you are playing multiple characters, that is a fun way to approach it, right? Like, if you have multiple characters in different areas, and yeah, they're going to be experiencing things differently, and they may do something that does affect what's happening to this other character in the same area. They may have killed a zombie that would have realistically, or Shibito in this case, jumped out and attacked another character, right? But because you killed it in that timeline, and now you're shifting over to this other person, you don't have to worry about that. So I I do think that's pretty unique. I did like that about the game. So I don't know, anything else on this one?
No, I mean, it's definitely one of those games that as soon as I saw a video, I was like, hey, spooky month, let's check this out, just because I thought the game conceit seemed really interesting. I guess let's just go into the pricing here. So complete in box, $70. That peaked at $70 in right now, October 2025, and that is currently holding. A loose copy will run you $41.10. That peaked at $43.75 in July of 2025. That is trending up. But you can get it digitally on PlayStation Network for $9.99, and it is included with PS Plus Premium Edition. So you've got some easy ways into the game, honestly, that make it very accessible, and I would say worth checking out. Like, as weird and quirky as this is, if you could get, something that you could only get for $70 for $10, or just as a part of your monthly membership, I would say that it's worth either, if you're going to play more than one game, it's probably worth getting the PS Plus membership for like a month just to check this out. Or I would say it would be worth probably paying the $10 for the digital copy. But like, yeah, I wouldn't pay $40 loose or $70 complete in box for this. No way.
Well, let's put it in perspective here, though. So, in terms of horror games that are on the PlayStation 2, so if I just sort, let's see if I can sort by here. It won't let me. Category, games. No. Okay, so Silent Hill, for example. Silent Hill 3, complete in box, is a $279 game. Silent Hill, The Room is around $115. Silent Hill, hell, even a strategy guide for Silent Hill 2 or 3 is like $95. So if you think about the price of horror games on the PlayStation 2 specifically,
What
this
about
is
Resident
actually,
Evil?
I mean, it's a different type of horror as far as Resident
Well,
Evil.
but you're talking about horror games.
Yeah. Yeah, so comparatively, let's see. Resident Evil Outbreak File 2, $100. Resident Evil 4 is $20, but that's also had a crap ton of re-releases.
Best
Code
game ever.
Veronica, $18, not that great. Dead Aim is $53. That's actually an obscure title. Resident Evil Essentials is $87 on the PS2. Resident Evil 4, no, it's not for resale. Resident Evil Outbreak 2, that's on PAL.
So there's a lot of really they're more expensive. Like Rule of Rose is like how much? $300 or something crazy?
No, it's more than that. The PAL version is like $300. I think it's like
okay.
$800 for Rule of Rose. So let's see. Rule of Rose is
You're just saying it's an expensive genre of game.
$694. Yeah. So when you consider it a genre itself is very expensive. What's the one that we played? It's when you're on the boat. I forget that one.
Oh, Cold Fear.
Yeah. So let's look at Cold Fear. When we played that, it was like $10 or $12. Cold Fear is now $68.60 for a complete in box. On the Xbox,
so maybe this is like it's $70. Like
it is now. It hit its peak, right? Like that's its peak right now. And did you say it's going up right now?
It's holding.
Okay, so let's see what it was even. Like this spike has occurred obviously since COVID. It was $25 back in 2020. It's hovered around 52 to 50 the last year. It only this year has shot up to 63 and now 70. So this is a game that while it's holding, it's trending upward in price. And as far as Siren is concerned, you've got a PAL release of Forbidden Siren, which is $87. You've got Blood Curse on PS3, which is $86. Forbidden Siren 2 PAL Siren 2 is $134. So, I mean, compared to the other titles, this is actually affordable. So, I guess what I'm trying to get at is I think the price right now is just right, borderline deflated when you consider
No,
the cost of horror games.
You think the value is that, but the game itself is not. The game itself is inflated. This game, sitting down and adding it to your collection and playing it is not worth $70. Flipping it by buying it, holding it for 5 years, and then trying to turn a $10 to $15 profit is worth the spec buy on it. But it's just the game itself is inflated.
I'll give you that. The game itself is inflated, but we have said on the podcast before on several occasions certain games that we say just right on the price point when you factor in other games within a genre. So we have had that.
Yeah, but this is just like, what's the sequel for this go for?
Blood Curse is $86.20. Forbidden Siren 2 is $134 on PAL. And this is actually only North American release Siren game on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to like badmouth the game because I did think it was like interesting, but it's just like it's a level based like short vignette. There's probably not a lot of like replayability to go through. There's probably not like a whole lot of exploring and stuff that you could do. I don't see this being anything but inflated.
Its main story is 20 hours. So that's a lot longer than certain games nowadays that are coming out for $70. I mean, Silent Hill I beat in 9 or 10.
It's not as inflated as it could be, but it will be one day.
It will be one day. So John is saying buy now. That's the stonks right now. Buy now on this one. If you're looking at if you've always wanted to play Siren and you hadn't had your opportunity, I would say buy now because I do see this one going up in value. Given, I would say its level of obscurity, only North American Siren game as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I didn't see anything right off the bat. And it's a decent game overall. And when you're kind of considering who made it, it does, it's like poor man's Silent Hill in a sense for now till it goes up higher.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'll stick a few on this one. We'll say inflated for now. But definitely buy it. So digital, you already went through that, right? You said digital,
yeah.
$10. Okay. Yeah, you did. So our next game. So are we good? Little Nightmares?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a good one. I think it's on PlayStation 4. And then I imagine Game Pass probably has it as well.
I'll see.
Yeah. And if that doesn't happen, if you don't want to throw down some money because it's going to cost something, let me know. We'll find something else for Spooky Month.
Just mail me your copy. You'll be my mail-in library.
I'm going to be your, what's it called? What's the game people?
Gamefly.
Gamefly. I'm going to be your Gamefly now.
John Fly.
Okay. I appreciate that. So you're going to be paying me monthly now, right?
Yeah, monthly subscription to John.
Monthly subscription, John. Okay. Yeah, we could do that. We can manage that. I'll send you extra games a month. It'd be great. I'm okay with this. All right. Well, until then, this has been episode 363 of the Game Deflators podcast. My name's John.
I'm Ryan.
And thanks for listening and watching.